You got to turn it down. Lower. All right, what's up, y'all? We're here. We're in. We're live. Better late than never. Hello, everybody. I'm Rick. That's Britton. Look, we're working men, all right? We got busy days, but we're here. Appreciate you guys for your patience. Hello, Britton.
What's the word, Rick? We got a big fight on our hands.
I can't believe we're here, to be honest with you. I can't believe we're here. I can't believe they did it. I can't believe that they're putting their perfect records up against each other at this stage in their career. And I am forever grateful, quite honestly. Forever grateful. We have talked about this so many times. Who do you got?
I got Tank. I got Tank 9th round stoppage. I don't think it's going to be a pretty fight. I don't think it's going to be one-sided, but I got Tank.
We've talked about this many times. We have both been very confident about Gervonta Tank Davis knocking out Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
The reason we have been so confident about this is because we have seen their bodies of work. If you were to put Tank's opponents up against Ryan's opponents, Tank's opponents are just better. Anybody who says otherwise honestly might have an agenda. What I've seen with Tank is he could take a punch better. Whereas Ryan Garcia, the most he's gotten tested was against Luke Campbell, and Campbell put him down. The only question I have is, has Tank been hit with the best punch that Ryan can throw against other opponents? To that, I say no. I don't think he has. I think Ryan can hurt him. I just don't know if he will. But
I disagree.
Okay, tell me why.
I think Ryan is too fast. I think that Ryan's going to get his shots off. And I know that Tank and Calvin are more educated than to just prepare for
Say that one more time. They what?
I said they're more educated than to simply think that all Ryan has is a big left hook. But to that point, I think that Ryan is going to try to show a multitude of skill set tonight, which could get him in trouble. But I think that he's okay. I think that he's okay with flying or dying tonight. What I saw in him when he got hurt against Luke Campbell showed me that when he gets hurt, he gets up and he's ready to fight.
Of course.
And I think that that's the Ryan that we're going to see tonight. Somebody who's on fire and he's willing to lay it all on the line. So I think that both guys are going to get hurt tonight, and I think we're going to see what both men are made of.
To that point, I agree with you. But to that point, I don't think Gervonta has been hit with a harder punch than Ryan's best punch. And I would say the same for Ryan. Ryan hasn't been hit with a punch that Gervonta has, period.
Yeah.
Guys, they are in the ring. The size difference is there. They do touch gloves. Credit where it's due. I give them credit. And we are here. Round one is about to start. I was talking to my brother-in-law, who I love, and he'll take no offense in me saying this, a fun degenerate gambler, where he won't gamble the house. He'll gamble, a few bucks here and there. The odds for Gervonta to knock out Ryan in the championship rounds were pretty much even money, which I found to be pretty interesting. All right, so here we go.
Here we go.
At 136 pounds. Garcia looks huge in comparison to Tank. Huge.
So much bigger.
Huge. He weighed in today. We were talking about it a little bit through text. I think it was 144.9.
Yeah.
When he stepped on the scale. They had a rehydration clause of 10 pounds. Look, I'm going to give a bit of play-by-play, but before I do, why was there so much controversy, in your opinion, with the rehydration clause?
We'll get to that. One thing I want to point out early is I don't like that Tank is reaching. Ryan has already thrown a jab to the body. Tank has dropped his hand, and then Tank reached to try and I know what he's doing. He's trying to take away the reach of Ryan Garcia, but he's bringing that hand too far away from his face, and he's leaving himself open for that left hook. I do not like that early from Tank, and he doesn't look the most comfortable right now boxing along the ropes. The rehydration clause is because Ryan is he's growing. He's a big kid. His last 2 fights were at 140 pounds. He struggled to make 135. He asked for the fight to be at 140. Tank wouldn't go for 140. Didn't need to go for 140.
Right.
Asked for the fight to be at a catchweight of 138. So Ryan says, we don't know if this is true, but Ryan says that Tank agreed to 138, and then a week later or so, asked for the fight to be now at 136 pounds, which he agreed to. Point is, Garcia is a big kid. He's growing. Yep. He's more comfortable at 140 pounds, wants to stay up as heavy as he can. He's much bigger than Tank, and we see that today on Fight Night.
Some people are asking, are you on dial-up? Do you want to clarify that?
Am I on dial-up? Possibly meaning because my connection is bad. Is that what they're asking?
That is 1,000% what they mean.
Oh shit! My bad, guys.
It's okay.
I don't know. I don't know what else I could do.
No. There's nothing that you have to do. I would say in between rounds, let's try to do the trick that we did for the Benavidez fight.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because your video is like Dell, AOL, Windows 98.
Ah, man, that's not good.
No, it's not good. What I will say about this is in this first round,
born then.
What I will say about this round, the opening round, is Ryan is more active, but I remember seeing a stat that although Gervonta Tank Davis does not throw a lot of punches per round, when he does throw, he makes them count.
He's accurate.
So he's very accurate. All right, we're in between rounds. What was it again? Here, I'm gonna mute you real quick. What was it again? What did we do? Guys, we're gonna mute in between rounds so we could fix his video. Just give us 20 seconds. Okay, what did we do before? Was it Google Hangouts? Okay. Okay. Oh shit! I need to add you to my Hangouts. All right, guys, we're working on Britain's video right now. I'm muting him just for the time being so we can get this configured. We're going to have that for you. Second round right now. Ryan goes right after Tank. And when the referee is calling for a stoppage, he simply does not. He threw a few right hands there, charging at Tank. Tank holds, and Ryan continues to throw. I mean, he is on him. Gervonta does look uncomfortable, but I will say in past fights, he has looked uncomfortable. There have been times where he has, there's been times where he has been backed up. And to his credit, he is a very smart boxer. He takes in the knowledge and then makes a guy hurt. Ryan just missed a humongous left hand, and Tank holds again. Ryan is getting warned. Ryan is getting warned about hitting on the break, and Ryan is pressing forward, my friends. This is round 2. However, we have seen when Ryan gets a little too comfortable is when he can get countered as well. So this is what. Okay. I. You're muted still. I'm gonna. I had to add you on my TYT network because if I try to check that. I'm gonna unmute you right now though. Oh my goodness! Humongous left hand from Gervonta. Humongous left hand by Gervonta. Humongous.
I told you.
Humongous.
He was gonna walk into something.
We were talking about this just now. Ryan gets comfortable.
He got
Ryan can get comfortable, and then he can get hit.
Ryan is also dangerous right here, though. Ryan is also dangerous right here, though, because he is coming to fight. He's clear. He's clear.
He does look okay.
He's okay.
He's not throwing. He's not throwing, though, but he does look okay.
This is the time Tank should shoot.
Oh, another huge left hand from Tank.
He should shoot.
Oh, and then Ryan throws a big left. They're in the middle of the ring.
God.
This is exactly what you wanted to see. This is why you paid $84.99.
We wanted to know if this was going to be Hagler Hearns. It's Hagler Hearns.
Oh, my goodness.
We wanted to know.
5 seconds left in the second round. Rick, I feel like I've aged 2,000 years.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Unmute me.
You are unmuted.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
what
I'm talking about.
God.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we paid for. I told you. Listen, for the people who didn't get a chance to hear me because Rick had me muted, I said Ryan is too comfortable. He's going to walk into something. Tank is too sharp. It's way too early. And he walked into something.
He took it.
That.
He took
just
it.
like that.
He took it, though. He took it. He got back up and he started jabbing again.
But listen, here's the read. Here's the tail. The tail is he didn't come out swinging. Remember when Luke Campbell knocked him down?
Yep.
He walked right to Luke Campbell and started throwing punches.
Yeah.
Listen, he was still hurt. He's gonna walk to you and present as if he's not hurt, but he was hurt. That was a good opportunity for Tank to get a shot off. He shut the lights off of Ryan Garcia.
Brett, I'm calling you on Hangouts to get your video. We need your video. We are going into round 3. If you hear it, it's because we're trying to fix Britain's 1994 video.
I'm on Hangouts right now, bro. Which Hangouts? I sent you a link. I'm on.
All right, we'll work on it. We'll work on it in a second. It's okay,
bro. Jump on the link that I sent you. I sent it to your Gmail.
You got to send it muted. You got to send it to my TYT network email. If I log out, then I lose the stream. I can't log out. rickstrom@tytnetwork.com. Okay, I'm going to unmute us.
All right, cool.
All right. Round 3. And it's very similar to round 1. The consensus here is Ryan took it very well. He does not look necessarily phased, but he's also not throwing as many punches.
I sent it to you, Rick.
All right. He's also not throwing as many punches.
Tank needs to circle to his right. He needs to circle to his
Why?
right and because he needs to create an angle.
Yeah.
He's too much on a straight line for Ryan Garcia's punch right now. He needs to get on an angle. If Ryan wanted to throw a 1-2, Tank will be right in line for it. So he needs to get on an angle where he can hit Ryan and Ryan can't necessarily hit him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand. I'm watching Gervonta's head movement. I haven't really seen much in these first 2.5. Yeah, we're about 2.5 rounds in. I am interested in why Ryan is not pushing him back further. Although Tank is totally fine fighting on the back foot.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
Because he just got put down trying to do that same tactic.
He got put down because he got too comfortable throwing too many punches at once.
Listen, what I'm saying to you, Rick, is he got too comfortable trying to push Tank backwards. He came out in round 2 trying to prove a point. I'm bigger than you. I'm the tougher opponent. I'm going to be the one pushing you back. And he got clipped. So now he's being a little bit more reserved within himself.
Yep.
And Tank needs to watch out now because of that big left hook that he's trying to land now. He's currently trying to set a trap.
Tank is reaching too. Yeah, Tank is reaching.
Exactly. He's trying to set a trap for Tank Davis by creating a little gap where Tank has to reach and leave his chin up in the air. And
Right.
Tank is kind of falling into it right now, but because of his athleticism, is getting underneath the shot. So Tank needs to move to his right so that he is away from the big left hook. So he's on the outside of the hook. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Okay. That's what Tank needs to do. Ryan needs to step to his right, and he needs to use his jab, his right hand, to force Tank into the left hook, like he did with Fortuna. Fortuna, when Ryan fought Fortuna, he threw a lot of right hands to force Fortuna into the left hook. That being said, that is not the last knockdown of this fight, and I still think that both fighters may touch the canvas tonight.
1 second, guys. There's something that just happened in my video. One second, y'all. One second.
Now Garcia is fully recovered.
Brett, I'm going to call you back in 1 second.
All right.
All right. Hang on 1 second, guys. We're still here. We are in round 4. All right, there we go. All right, I know the video is bad, but the analysis is good, so we're just going to have to roll with it, guys. Sorry. All right, there we go. All right. Round 4 here. What do you see?
Round 4. What I see is the game plan for Ryan Garcia is obviously to pressure Tank. And then when he's hurt, to fall back into a more of a boxing match. So the game plan is to take the power away from Tank by backing him up, because traditional wisdom in boxing says when you push a power puncher backwards, he loses his power. The thing is, we've seen Tank still maintain his power while backing up.
For sure.
A la his win against
Rolly. Yeah.
Against Rolly. So they are trying to pressure Tank. They're trying to make him lose power, and they're going to try and drown Tank later and knock him out. That is the game plan from Ryan Garcia. This is a good fight.
What I don't like right now is what we just saw from Ryan is from Tank, actually, excuse me, is that Ryan is luring him in for the check left hook. He just missed landing it. He's loading up on it. He's letting Tank get comfortable in round 4. If I'm Tank, I don't reach. I do not try and push him backwards. I continue luring him in and allowing his opponent to get comfortable.
Yeah. So what you're asking Tank to do is basically what he did against Rolly, and allow make Ryan open up the shots for him by closing the distance for him.
Correct.
That is a smart plan. All the while, I like what Tank is doing right now, because he's going to the body. And while he's going to the body, that's effective on 2 points. 1, that's taking the legs, thus the power away from a power puncher. And 2, he's eventually going to come back upstairs like he just did right there to get himself off the ropes. So I like the movement from Tank. I like the power placement, and I like the punch placement from Tank. But I also have to be honest. I like the balls on Ryan Garcia, because he's trying to pressure Tank. Ooh. You're the Tank, but I'm pushing you backwards. I'm chasing you around the ring. Thing is,
which is par for the course. Which is par for the course in a lot of Tank fights. He's more, as we stated previously, he's more than comfortable fighting on the back foot in a lot of these.
But a lot of people don't give him credit for that, because people give Tank credit for being a power puncher. They don't give Tank credit for being a slick boxer. They don't give Tank credit for his boxing brain and his
I agree.
Analyze a fight.
I completely agree with that. I think what a lot of people see is judgment on how he does interviews and judgment on other outside factors instead of what happens in the ring. Manny Pacquiao is in the building as they're showing him. By the way, we have 147 people watching. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We love every one of you. We appreciate you guys, and we love doing this.
Speaking of 147, we got Floyd Money Mayweather on the camera right now.
Just saw. Floyd Money is there as well. We are going into round 5.
Looking like somebody drunk uncle. Walking around the arena. All right, Floyd, go ahead.
Go ahead and make your cool $2 million fighting against an influencer. You deserve it, man.
I think it's more like 10, but you know.
Was it 10? In Japan, was it 10?
Who's counting? We got a great fight. We got a great fight right here.
We're in round 5, y'all.
What I don't like is that reach and jab that Ryan just did to Tank's body. He leaves way too much open for a power puncher and a precision puncher like Tank to take advantage of. But you got to imagine if he's doing that punch, it's for good reason. It's for good reason.
Yeah.
He's trying to misdirect Tank into thinking where his hands are going to be, and he's going to come up with a big shot. So Tank should be on the lookout for that.
I mean, what I'm most curious to see is when Tank tries to land that strong left hand, his chin is open, man. It's open. He landed a more compact left hand at about 1:54. But he has been reaching with his power left hand when he throws to the body. And I got to think Ryan is taking some mental notes on when to time the left hook.
Yeah.
Because it is there. Like there, when
right
Ryan
there.
throws a straight right, and then Tank comes in and reaches, when Ryan steps out of distance, bam. He could hit him with a left hook.
Or when Tank reaches to gauge distance,
yeah,
he's reaching a little bit too much for me. If Ryan were slick enough, he would just wrap his arm around and throw that hook and put some steam on it and see what's happening. Tank talking to him, by the way, so Tank feels confident. But I don't think that this fight, despite the knockdown rather, is at a place where any one of these guys should feel comfortable.
Boy, it really feels
that left
like
hook, he's really trying to land that.
He
left
really
hook.
is, and if he doesn't land it, he's gonna get hurt again. So it's pretty much my best punch against your punches.
Yeah,
is how it feels right now.
But you see what Tank is doing. I have to draw awareness to this for the audience, for the people who don't know boxing. This is ring generalship. What Tank is doing right now, when Tank is reaching out, when he sees, not when he's reaching to gauge distance. But when Ryan is reaching and Tank puts his glove out to meet Ryan's glove, that is preventing someone with longer punches from actually extending their arm. And what that allows Tank to watch his feet. When he does that, he's bringing his feet closer to Ryan, which allows him to get off his power shots. People don't recognize Tank as being a ring general. So when Tank lands a left hook, a left hand like that, it's because he just took the distance away from somebody whose reach is much longer than his. You got to understand the ring generalship. You got to understand the boxing brilliance that Tank has to be able to do something like that. Those are the things that brilliant boxers don't get credit for.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot here. I have not been scoring. Have you?
I have not been scoring either, but it looks like if I were looking at it's
neither of us have. We've been too into it.
Well, listen, it's damn near impossible to score a fight while you're calling it. So
totally.
I wouldn't even have us on the hook for that. But by the looks of it, it looks like Tank is winning the fight. I gave Ryan the first round, and then I gave Tank everything after that.
Sorry, say that last part one more time.
I gave Ryan the first round, and I gave Tank everything after that.
It feels right. Plus the knockdown. So we're going into 6 right now. So you would basically have it 4-1 with a knockdown.
Yeah. So Ryan is in a hole right now. So Ryan is.
That's how it feels, but that's to us. We have no idea what the scores are.
Right. So it seems like to me, Ryan is going to have to. He's going to have to do something to make Tank uncomfortable, which he's trying to do right now. But right now, he's following Tank around the ring when he should be trying to cut the ring off.
I think he's going to. I think he's trying to get him in a corner and keep him in a corner.
But
the question is, how many times does he unload to leave himself open? I say he doesn't.
I don't know if that's the question, Tank. Tank. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
the
they called
question.
me that back in the day as well.
Back
You
in
know, the tough
Rick the
streets of
Tank.
Northbrook.
I don't know if that's the question, Rick. I think the question is, can
Oh,
he? Has
oh boy, Ryan landed a huge right.
oh, good right hand.
Tank took
Oh,
it, but he also reacted.
he did.
And now
He
Tank is
did.
trying to fire back to get some respect back. We're at 2 minutes into the 6th round. I don't like what Tank is doing here. He's being too offensive. He's trying to get even.
Yeah,
And this is where he can get caught.
exactly.
Ryan landed a straight left, a good jab. And now, as you said, he's cutting the ring off.
That's what he has to do.
I'm
That's
telling you,
what he has to
Gervonta's
do.
throwing a lot here. He's throwing a lot.
And he's reaching.
Yes.
And he's reaching.
We're at about 1:25 into the 6th round, guys. Surprisingly, they are back to being somewhat into the middle of the ring. Now, Gervonta's getting pushed back a little bit into the back right corner.
And
He is
that's
really
ring
leaving
generalship
himself open.
And that's ring generalship on Ryan's behalf.
Without a doubt,
you
yeah.
got to give both of these guys credit for their boxing brains here and what they're trying to do.
I'm curious because the conversation goes with the ebbs and flows of the fight. When does Tank try to fight a little bit more on the inside to take away Ryan's reach?
He never does that before 8-9, 10. Even if you go back to the Barrios,
Ryan just took a good left.
He did, and
he's still there.
I'm kind of surprised that he's still there.
He is definitely still there.
Good body shot by Tank. I like Tank going to the body.
I'm very interested in Ryan backing up, but not just for a moment. I'm talking for the longevity of a sequence, how he would do, because one of his bigger problems in his past fights, even though, you know, when he took on when he took on Fortuna, there wasn't much. His defense is not great. So I am curious to see what happens if he fights on the back foot for an extended period of time. That is the end of round 6. Much better round for Ryan. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I think that right now, Ryan can't afford to fight back enough. He has to press the issue because he's in a hole. So he has to fight more aggressive. He has to fight more of a pressure style against Tank, which is going to open him up, but it's going to create for a very exciting fight down the stretch, because we know rounds 8, 9, 10, that's when Tank comes alive, and that's when he typically starts to do his best work. Thing is, Tank has usually poked more holes in his opponent than he has to this point in the fight.
All right, I'm curious for everybody that's watching, and if you're scoring, how do you have it through 6? What is your score? No, I'm asking the audience. For everybody watching, we got 156 people watching.
156.
We appreciate it. Let's go. Yeah. All right, we're in round 7. How do you have it through 6? We're waiting on you guys. I'm waiting on your comments. Hit me with them. Oh, Gervonta took a big right hand from Ryan Garcia.
And Ryan smothered his work by jumping on Tank the way that he did. If he would have stayed at the same distance, he would have been able to get at least another big shot off. This is the fight. This is the fight that Ryan needs to fight. Ryan needs to fight more that style that he was fighting when he was training under Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Reynoso, keeping the hands up in the midst and walking Tank down. That's the fight that he needs to fight.
Right.
Because he's going to force Tank to throw shots even when Tank is not ready. And when Tank throws shots out of desperation, it's going to open up that big left hook that Ryan is trying to land.
Very quickly, Steve Farhood, the unofficial scorer for Showtime Sports, has it 58-55 with the knockdown for Gervonta Tank Davis. I got to tell you, when Ryan really pushes forward and throws punches in bunches, I'm saying at a minimum 2,
he gets something done.
Yeah, he does.
He just landed that hook.
Oh,
he just landed
boy.
that hook and a right hand. Oh,
Ryan Garcia's
Ryan
nose
takes a knee.
is busted.
Was it a body shot?
Oh,
I didn't
no. Ryan
it's
Garcia
over.
gets
It's
counted
over.
out.
Oh, wow. Was it a body shot?
Oh, my God.
Was it a body shot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Body shot. Body shot. Body shot, yeah. I said earlier, I like Tank going to the body. That body shot is what he was setting up all night long. That's a bad man right there. That's a brilliant boxing man right there. That's a brilliant, brilliant boxing brain right there. There's so much real estate for a shorter fighter. And I say this all the time because I actively spar myself. There's so much real estate when you're fighting a taller fighter. There's so much active real estate to take advantage of when you're fighting someone that's taller.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, that was, I want to see that shot again. It
I do
happened so
too.
quick. It happened so quick. But
it happened so quickly. And
right on the
liver. You know it hurts when there's what? The delayed reaction from it. When there's the delayed reaction, you know this guy is canned. Canned. I mean, he must have been hurting, because he was down on one knee. He saw the count and could not get up off that knee. One thing that I noticed, Ryan tried going over to Tank. Tank wouldn't hear it. But now, Tank is going back to Ryan, and they're shaking it up, which is obviously good to see. But man. Man, oh man. It is, for many, we have seen the trials and tribulations of the sport. David Morrell, in the co-main, knocked his opponent out what looked like unconscious. We have seen Sergio Martinez knock out Paul Williams unconscious. And for this, it feels, for many, I'm sure, anticlimactic.
Wow.
It was a left hand to the core, to the right side of Ryan Garcia's core.
You know what it was? Ryan was throwing. And when you throw, you're taught to exhale as you're throwing so that you don't gas out. He was exhaling as Tank was landing that shot, and it landed right on the liver. His body, it was over. Ryan, trust me, if Ryan could get up, he would have.
Right. No, I don't doubt it.
There was nothing he could have done.
Yep.
When you get hit with a shot like that, it's debilitating.
Yep.
It's right there on that liver. It's debilitating. You can see it in his face right there. You can see it. He's trying to suck it up. He's trying to show. He's trying to save face.
Yeah.
And then
it just gave in.
Delayed reaction.
Oh,
that's why he dropped the smile.
Yeah.
You always know that the smile is the tell. Whenever
totally
smiles, you already know.
Totally. It was just on the inside. It was a perfectly timed punch. Tank got hit too, which by the way could have been an equilibrium shot because it landed behind Tank's ear.
But as soon as he hit Ryan, Tank's face reacted. He knew that he hurt him as soon as he hit him.
He said something to him.
He said something.
Yeah,
to
he
him.
did.
And you know what's funny about this is he said to Ryan, he said, I heard you got dropped in camp with a body shot.
Oh yeah.
He said that to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Not necessarily how we predicted it, but we did predict a win.
What round is it?
Wasn't that 7? Was it 7 or 8?
I said he was going to stop him in 9.
All right, here we go. I'm going to bring an end to this right now. Do not hit us with the BS been
Conspiracy
rigged.
theories.
Don't
Get
do
the
it.
fuck out of here. Get
Don't
out of
do it.
here.
Don't
Get
do
out
it,
of
guys.
here.
Don't swear
I don't
either.
want to hear that
Don't
shit.
swear either. But don't do it, guys. Please spare me.
Are people
We're
really
not
saying that?
we're not doing it. Yeah. El Migos
That's
says
because these people have never boxed before.
says boxing been rigged. Blues Fever says rigged. Guys, we're breaking it down for you right now.
Have these guys ever boxed before? I want them to respond in the comments. Have they ever boxed before?
What if they say yes? What does it matter? They could just be BSing you.
Right. That's fair because they're BSing me by saying that the fight is rigged.
Yeah. Hugh Hundo kills it and says the conspiracy clowns are here. So yeah, it's amazing. Suddenly they just pop up out of nowhere, man. They just pop up out of nowhere. You could see the look on Ryan Garcia's face. He is perplexed and disappointed. Rematch?
Nah.
Tank ain't
gonna rematch. I mean, he could and make some easy money, but I think
it would be huge.
Well, Tank has to go to court on May 5th, and we don't know what that's gonna produce.
That's true. Round 7. Joe Goosen just threw his hands up to Ryan Garcia like, man. All right, I'm going to tell you what they say. Jim Gray's interviewing Gervonta Tank Davis. He asked him how he'd describe it. I was excited to be a part of it. I've seen Floyd fight at the MGM, his former promoter. I said that was going to be me one day, and we're here. Jim Gray. Did the reality match that dream? The job's never done until I retire, Tank says. We're going to continue to work. Jim Gray notes that Tank said you would knock him out in the 7th round. Not sure why Jim Gray wanted his towel off, but it's okay. Off his head.
So he could see his face clearly in the camera.
We're seeing it pretty clearly now. He's downplaying his prediction of knocking Ryan Garcia out in round 7. Skill-wise, it was unmatched. Ryan Garcia is just waiting to be interviewed. It's a good point by Jim Gray. They're going over the 2nd round knockdown, which Ryan took well. Very well.
I don't understand why Ryan would get hit with a shot like that if he was setting up for a scam.
Because the money was on round 7, bro. Don't you get it? Come on now. They bet the house on round 7. Did you think the fight would be over with the shot? The knockout shot?
Body shot?
Yeah, that's what he just asked him.
Oh. Look at his face when he hit him.
Gervonta even says, I didn't think it was over after that punch.
See, I've seen his face. Huh?
Jim Gray asked him, did you think he was going to get up from that shot? Gervonta says, I thought he was going to get up. Man. I hope they rematch, man. Gervonta is looking right at Jim Gray as he's asking this question. You could see his adrenaline is pumping.
Tanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tank said I didn't think it was over. I was telling him to get up.
All right. They congratulate Gervonta. Gervonta daps him up. Good to see. Ryan is getting booed.
Yeah, because people
hang on.
think that...
I take my hat off to Ryan. It's all love at the end of the day. I was honored to be in the ring with Gervonta, and I respect him a lot. You're a good man, he says to Tank. Tank shakes his hand and walks away. He's asking him about the shot that knocked him out. He caught me with a good shot, Ryan says. I couldn't recover. That's all I got to say. He caught me with a good body shot. Snuck under me, caught me clean. Man, did you think you'd be able to continue? Were you having trouble breathing? I'm not going to say. He's not answering. Quick answer. I just couldn't get up. They're asking him about getting caught in the second round. I think I should have pressured him a little harder, which we can talk about in a second. I gave him too much respect. Thanks, Jesus, and walks out, daps up Leonard Ellerby, who looks exquisite, if I may say.
With the beard.
With the beard and the white on white with the black undershirt, that is clean. Ryan and Tank dap up one more time, and they go do respective interviews. Okay, lot to talk about here. I'm going to try to find the CompuBox count. I'm sure it's on Showtime's like Twitter or something. We're going to react to your comments. There is a lot to discuss here. Mike Jones, appreciate you. San Diego 2019, appreciate you. Jamal brings up an interesting point. Guys, send in your comments. We're going to react to all these. Because you know what? We got nothing but time. All right. Jamal reacted to something that Ryan said, which was, I think I gave him too much respect. Jamal actually replies and says, I think not enough respect. What say you?
I agree. He definitely didn't give him enough respect. That's why he got dropped in the second round, because he wasn't respecting Tank. I mean, he definitely didn't give Tank enough respect, in my opinion.
How would he have given him enough respect?
To just be better prepared. I mean, that's it. For real. Just to be better prepared. There was not, but to that point, when you get hit with a body shot, there's really nothing that you can do to recover. So I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm disappointed in Ryan. I thought that Ryan fought, you know, a little less, he didn't fight as good as I thought that he could have, but because I was saying that this fight wasn't going to be one-sided, and the fight was one-sided. I thought that there was going to be a point in the fight where Ryan surged and Ryan came on and Ryan possibly dropped Tank because he was going to make Tank impatient and have to come forward and get clipped. But he didn't show any patience. He didn't show us anything different than what he's been this entire time. Right. So like, had he done something different, I would be more satisfied with this. But we knew that if he were the same guy who fought, you know, if he was the same guy who just fought Fortuna, that he was gonna get hurt.
Guys, I'm waiting on the CompuBox count right now. I can give you the power punches. I mean, it's in round 6, but the power punches, Gervonta landed 10-17. Ryan landed 6-12. Here's what I will say. Gervonta took some of Ryan's best shots. He did not take Ryan's best left hook. He took some left hooks. He didn't take the best. There were a few moments that we saw throughout this fight where Gervonta, we noted it over and over and over and over again, that Gervonta at times when Ryan would start out a round hot, Gervonta would want to get even. It's a Manny Pacquiao special that we saw throughout his career. And he would chase, and he would reach. And when he reaches, especially against a traditional boxer, as a southpaw, he would throw that left hand, he would lunge, and he would leave himself open. If they do get a rematch, and by the way, Jim Gray did not ask about a rematch.
There is no rematch because Ryan doesn't have a rematch clause.
Right.
That's
It was
why I don't
no. Hang on. It was more so as a ringside announcer and reporter. They always ask, would you accept a rematch? I'm very curious as to why that wasn't asked. They ask that no matter what. I was verbally transcribing what Jim Gray said, so if anybody wasn't listening and they chose to listen to us, right call, that they would be able to hear it. I'm very curious why they did not ask that. Really curious. No matter what it is, Deontay and Tyson, they would ask it. Floyd Manny, they would ask it. It doesn't matter. They would ask it. I'm not trying to be conspiratorial here. I'm just asking questions. Why wasn't that asked? That is total protocol.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Why ask the question that you already know the answer to?
I completely disagree with that. Okay. What? Let me rephrase. If they don't say rematch, they'll say what? What's next for you?
Yeah.
That wasn't asked either.
What's the point?
Are you not Are you not curious if Gervonta would be interested in a rematch? So at least we have the quote on the books. From a media perspective, you could then run with the headline. They could blast it through the AP. They could blast it through ESPN. Gervonta Tank Davis knocks out Ryan Garcia, space, open to rematch. I am perplexed. As a media person who takes in all this stuff and has taken it in for 12 years now, I find that effing odd.
So are you now a conspiracy theorist?
Absolutely not. No. See, now that's a question that didn't need to be asked. That's a question that you probably could have, not gone with. But hey, I guess I'm here for it.
Listen. My point is, I think that there was so much to do made about the rematch clause and the weight clause and the this and the that. However, so it was like, what's the point in asking if there's going to be a rematch? They like every press conference.
Because I want to know.
Let me finish, Mr.
All right. I'm sorry.
Because Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia don't know who we are, so they don't care what we want to know.
They will. Maybe not today, but they will.
One of these days.
I promise you.
My point in saying that to you is every press conference they had, Ryan's side made a point and telling us how much of a disadvantage Ryan was at. I don't have a rematch. I got to lose this weight. I got to lose that weight.
Right.
So everyone in the boxing world knew that he didn't have a rematch clause. So what's the point in asking?
Once again,
wait.
There's more. There's more. Okay.
There's more.
Okay.
Plus,
I didn't know.
There's another storyline is that there's a high probability that Tank Davis might have to serve time after this, so they might not want to ask him what's next.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming at. I think I still have the stronger leg to stand on here. That I would be interested, and you could run it through the press that they would be open to fighting again. Because quite honestly, although it was great for us, how anticlimactic of an ending it was for many people, I feel like there is, not to pull Lloyd Banks here, baby, but there's hunger for more here. I know that everybody is going to want to see this again. Maybe not everybody. I would say a majority of people are going to want to see this again. I personally would want to see it again. Because both guys got hit with good shots. They didn't get hit with the best shots to the face, that is, but they got hit with quality shots, good shots. And this, although we had Tank ahead, it felt seesaw-ish. It really felt like anything could happen at any point in time. It never felt like Ryan was out of the fight. It never felt like Tank was out of the fight. It really felt like it could have swung one way or the other, and the pendulum was swinging back and forth throughout this fight. We had Tank up, but it was close. It was close until that body shot to the liver that knocked out Ryan Garcia. All right, let me catch up here. Let's see. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Now, let me tell you something. If they, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead.
I have absolutely no response to that. I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know where that came from. That's a wild boy. That's a wild boy. He's sleepy. He passed his bedtime talking like that.
That's his username. That's not a comment.
Oh, that's his user? Oh, my God. That's even worse. His username is smack it up, flip it, rub it down.
All right, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Whew. Smack it up, one word, dash, flip it, dash, rub it down. Write to comment. It says, Ryan doesn't want any more from Tank. I don't know. He hung in there pretty well. He hung in there real well. Mike Jones wrote, Rick is sounding like he just lost some Benjamins. I predicted Tank, and also I don't bet on sports. I think it's very bad, very addicting. I think people should do whatever they think, but nah, not my thing. I think the last time I gambled on a sport was the Panthers-Broncos Super Bowl. I think that was it. I think it was like $50 tops. Okay. More. 2K Vision Video says, bring the bucket for them Garcia tears. I'd say it's a little harsh. Definitely harsh. You got a response to that one?
Nah, man. I want to talk boxing. I want to talk boxing.
All right, I got a few more. Let's see.
I want to talk about some boxing. I want to break down the X's and O's. Listen, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I never understand the conspiracy theorists. Like, I know the conspiracy theorists are like really like,
because it's so easy. It's so easy. Like you can't prove something that's wrong.
Listen. I get it, and I want to give y'all, for the people that in the chat that's locked in with us. I know that people who question a lot of things like naturally are typically really intelligent people, but I feel like there's a lack of intelligence and there's ignorance when you question a man's desire to fight or not, or throw a fight when he's taking punches that you've never taken before.
I agree.
So it's like, if you've never sparred, if you've never taken a punch, if you've never been, you don't know what it feels like to take those punches, right? For people who are saying Ryan threw the fight, why would he throw the fight?
Yeah.
First off, listen, he doesn't have a rematch clause. So it's not like, oh, I fight and I get to avenge my loss. Okay, so that's that theory.
Very, very quickly, they would save money. Let's just point out the elephant in the room.
He got paid 8 figures.
I understand. You're not speaking with logical people here, Mr. Brett.
I just don't understand it. I mean, obviously, You feel me? I'm just getting some stuff off my chest here.
Go for
But
it.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, what do you want the man to dive to prove that he didn't throw a fight? Like, these are the same people. These are the same people who are like, you know, like if a football player gets crushed in a dramatic clash, it's like, oh man, like this sport's too dramatic, or this sport is dangerous. You think boxing is any safer?
Right.
And this man just took a punch that clearly debilitated him. You can see, like he couldn't fake that the look that was on his face, right?
Yep.
He
His
takes
nose
a
was
knee.
busted too.
His nose was busted up. You don't know what, like, Tank is clearly one of the pound for pound hardest hitting people in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what those punches did to him. It's widely known amongst the boxing community that Ryan Garcia got dropped with a body shot in camp. Tank was teasing that at their press conferences. Yep. I know what happened in your camp. I know what happened in your camp.
Yep.
You said you're going to hit me with a left hook to the body. Wait till I hit your body.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand, you know, the logic or lack thereof for these people who are saying, oh, this is a farce. This was a fake fight, all this other stuff. Like, I'm not upset. I'm just bewildered because it's like, have you ever taken a punch before? It's weird.
Well, here's what I'll say to that. I think it's not necessarily about have you taken a punch before. Personally, because a lot of them haven't. Personally, what I would say is it's just an easy default. It's easy. You know what it is? It's a cop-out is what it is. It's a cop-out. Because you are saying something that is not provable because it is so unscientific. There is no justifying the means of saying something so putrid. Something that does not have any merit in the slightest. You think that you're rising yourself up through your own words by saying, oh, done. You know who says that? People who really don't think things through enough. All they're going to say is, yeah. He threw the fight. He threw the fight. Are you going to throw a fight to trash your own legacy? Ryan Garcia was celebrated, and when he was welcomed into what would be in that point in time an interview, he was booed. Booed. You want to crush your own spirit? You want to have all of the naysayers that he has now to throw a fight? It is, I'm trying to be kind here, it is psychotic to say something like that. It is unwise. It is unintelligent. It is dumb, if I'm simplifying. On the other side, there was a good fight. And it was a tried and true fight. I got the CompuBox numbers here. You ready? CompuBox. You want to take a guess at the percentages before I tell you?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that was a fun game. All right. Screw me. Ryan Garcia. I'll start with the jabs. Landed 14%. He threw 106. Gervonta Tank Davis threw only 40. I mean, we previewed this. He doesn't throw a lot of punches, but when he does, he makes it count. Landed 12.5. Power punches. This is the big one. Gervonta, 30 of 63. 47.6%. Ryan Garcia, 24 of 57, 42.1%. That brings a total of Gervonta landing 34%, though he threw 60 less. Ryan Garcia threw 163. He landed 23.9. It definitely felt like Ryan threw more, though I would argue more than 60. It felt like he threw a lot more. But that's how the fight went. Is he came out strong. It felt like he was not necessarily hurting, but he was making Gervonta feel his power in the first few rounds until he got dropped, took it well in the second round on the inside, which he did not really go back to until he had the knockdown. And then he got knocked out, rather, in 7. And Gervonta was loading. And as I said before, we'll go through the beginning, but as I said before, it really felt like it could go one way or the other. Because there were a few times where you sort of went on edge, like, oh, Gervonta may be hurt. Ryan hit him. He took it well. Did he take it well enough? And then he would hold in the first few rounds. I found that to be interesting, Britt.
I mean, listen, I think Ryan, he rushed his work. It was obvious what the game plan was from round 2. It was clear to me, and it was evident that to Joe Goosen, Ryan got off to a slow start, and after the first round, he was admonished by Joe and was saying, "This isn't what we prepared for. You need to go get on him."
Is that what he said in the corner?
I don't know, because I had the volume down.
Yeah,
but
I did too.
It was just very clear to me that Ryan came out with some fire under his ass in the second round with intentions on hurting Tank Davis and proving to him, I'm the bigger man. I'm pushing you backwards. So I feel like he rushed his work instead of trying to let the fight play out a little bit more, feeling it out. He could have applied some smart pressure behind the jab and tried to keep Tank at bay and pick up on some things. But I think he rushed his work. And to his credit, after he took that big shot in the second, he rebounded, not as quickly as we thought that he did, but he rebounded, got back to the game plan. But you know, I feel like he rushed his work. I don't think he ever had a chance in winning this fight, if I'm honest. And I called that, but he probably had a chance to take the fight deeper, or to at least finish the fight. But the other side of that coin is Tank Davis was well read, and he knew that Ryan was dropped in camp by a body shot, and he called that in several press conferences. And so, if Ryan can't take shots to the body and you get hit by Tank Davis, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
And to that point, I think people are disappointed. One, if you don't know what you're looking at and you see a body shot knockdown, you can't appreciate it if you don't appreciate boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it because I'm a purist. So a body shot knockout, amazing. If you don't know what you're looking at, I get that. When he knocked out Hector Garcia in his last fight,
Hector Garcia,
it didn't look like when he finished Mario Barrios.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mario Barrios' fight looked more visibly like, oh man, the life was taken out of him when Tank was hitting him. My point in saying that is just that I think that we just naturally as a culture have a bloodlust, and we want to see people laid out, eyes rolling in the back of their heads in order to consider them having a loss. Ryan Garcia came out, he fought the best fight that he possibly could within his capability and his skill set and his natural God-given ability. He came up against a once-in-a-lifetime talent in Tank Davis, who just has unworldly power in that small, compact body. And Tank picked him apart. He busted him up. He dropped him in the second round. Ryan got up, landed some really big shots, put on a really good show, and he just could not sustain the punishment. And so I'm sorry. I just have to keep circling back to this. I don't get the unappreciation.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head that, this goes back to the Roman days with the gladiators. It is a accepted societal mentality that we want to see people hurt. and it was so quick, and it wasn't a shot to the face, which is more visible for those that are taking in a fight to say, ooh, that must have hurt. Oh, that landed. It was quick. It was so quick that most people probably didn't even know that it happened. So that's why there's probably a hunger for more. I'm curious from your perspective. Gervonta, I heard many times in the build-up, and then afterwards, he said he's the face of the sport. He's got a damn good argument. If we're thinking abstractly right now, I would say, because you have to, we can give our opinions on this, but we have to think abstractly and objectively and bring in the casuals and even those that are whatever you would call them below a casual. Gervonta, we got to see the pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
It's tough to go up against Tyson because I still think people love heavyweights at the end of the day. Canelo has been on the downslope. He fought Triple G one more time when we both said why. He wanted to complete the trilogy even though he didn't have to. Looked bad against Dimitri Bivol, and he's fighting John Ryder. His buys will be high because he has a loyal fan base. Outside of that fan base, how many boxing fans really, really want to see him fight and pony up money? I don't know. I think Devin Haney is going to be the face, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet. And Shakur Stevenson, the question is he a bigger star than Gervonta Davis? That I don't know.
No, you do know.
I don't.
You absolutely know. Because numbers don't lie. Shakur Stevenson has, around 800,000 followers. Tank has, I think, about 5 million. Tank is by far the bigger star.
So you're basing that off of Instagram followers?
100%. What else would I base it off of? Ability?
Well, then technically Ryan Garcia is a bigger face than Gervonta Davis because he has 9 million.
That's why they said the winner of this fight was the new face of boxing. Because these two guys,
but I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I'm just saying if you're going off of Instagram followers, then Ryan Garcia would still be the face. So at one point, do you discount the popularity online?
I don't think you. Okay. The reason why this fight was made, and the reason why Ryan wanted this fight, and why Tank wanted this fight, and didn't want to fight Devin, and didn't want to fight Shakur, and all these other guys, is because they have emerged in that millennial crop of young fighters that are coming up as the two biggest stars. Who can I maximize my money with? I can maximize my money with you, Tank Davis. So I'm going to call you out every chance that I get. To that point, I don't think Ryan Garcia plans on boxing for much longer.
Oh, Tank Davis, he's already paved that path 100%.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm just saying that I don't, and to that point, I don't even know if I agree that the winner of this fight is the face of boxing. I think they're well on their way. I think they're doing the kinds of things that would merit them to be the face of boxing. But both of these guys combined, Ryan and Tank, have less followers than Canelo. And Canelo is going to fight John Ryder, and whatever pay-per-view buy, however many pay-per-view buys these guys do, I'm sure Canelo fighting John Ryder or whoever he fights is going to be able to compete with their number put together. Individually, they would not be able to compete with Canelo. So you can't be the face of boxing if you can't compete with the person who's selling, the person who's known by the casual. That's the face. Doesn't matter who the most talented person is, right? That was Floyd Mayweather's whole gripe against Oscar De La Hoya is I'm far more talented than you, but you have more followers and you make more money than me. So when Floyd was at 135 pounds, would call Oscar out even when he was at 147 and 154.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to prove to you I'm better than you.
Right.
So my point in saying all of this is Ryan has what? I don't know, 5 or 6 million followers. Tank has about 5 million followers. Both of these guys are far
9.8 for Ryan.
Uh-huh.
And Gervonta Davis on Instagram 4.8.
Okay. And check Shakur Stevenson for me.
On the gram?
Yeah.
Okay. On the gram. 859K.
Okay. And I want to say this with the caveat that I think that Shakur Stevenson is the most talented out of all of them.
I completely agree with that.
That said, he's the least known of all of them because numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. And that also begs okay, he fights on ESPN.
I'm looking this up right now. So his last fight, I'm sorry, finish your thought. Google's messing with me and I want to get these numbers right.
He fights on ESPN. He fights on ESPN, what, like 2 or 3 times a year, and has not been able to get he hasn't been able to get the following that Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia has been able to get because of one thing: he doesn't produce knockouts. The casual person, the face of boxing, is always going to be somebody who is just otherworldly, like talented. Like a Floyd Mayweather Jr., but even what did Floyd have to do to become the face of boxing? He had to become a supervillain.
Yeah.
He had to convert from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, throwing money in people's faces, cursing people out, being braggadocious, being all the humble, smiling all the time. Pretty Boy Floyd had to go out of the window. He had to create a character to be the face of boxing.
Yep.
And people weren't they didn't follow him. They didn't pay for his fights because they liked him. They paid for his fights because they wanted to see him lose. Then the culture followed him. Because there was a young crop of talent that was like, I want to fight like that, and I want to make money like that, and I want to live that lifestyle. But when Oscar was the face and you had that changing of the guard situation, people thought that Oscar was going to knock him out. That was Floyd's first time stepping up in weight. And he had to bend to everything Oscar wanted him to do. My whole point in like giving that whole little essay and synopsis is just to communicate that Tank, despite all that he's done outside of the ring that would typically merit someone not appreciating you, and I'm not judging him. The public gravitates him because we have a bloodlust. It goes back to the bloodlust that we have. Shakur Stevenson not getting hit is not entertaining. I have a chain of text messages right here telling me that fight was boring. Why? Even though it's Tank, that fight was boring. It was a farce. It was fake because Ryan Garcia was not left unconscious with his eyeball hanging out of his
Totally.
head. We're ridiculous, right?
Yep.
But people like Ryan, one, because he's attractive. And 2, because he's knocking guys out every fight. He produces a knockout.
Yep.
Why do we like Tank Davis? Because he's knocking people out. He's knocking people out, knocking them cold. That's why they're the 2 biggest guys. Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, who you could argue are by far the 2 more easily, probably more talented than either Ryan or Tank. Have the least following between these 2, but they have superior talent.
That's right. I'm here. I'm gonna give you a primo example. Robert Cahill writes, "Ever been to a party to watch Mayweather fight? No one watches." You're telling me a lot about you without telling me. They think it's boring. They think that level of perfecting the art of the sport is a snooze fest. That's what they're telling you. It's wrong.
That's crazy.
Dead wrong.
That's absurd.
Every Mayweather fight I watched was electric. I would watch with friends in college. I would watch when I couldn't afford pay-per-views at friends' houses. I would watch at bars. I would watch outside of a bar because I didn't want to pay cover. They were electric. Those places were bumping. So I'm not saying that's Robert. I'm saying the people that are there, they're telling on themselves. To go back to your viewership point, Shakur's fight against, let's see, against Valdez, peaked at 1.44 million. Canelo's buys for Triple G3, was between 555,000 and 575,000. They were talking about this fight with Tank and Ryan being in that range as well. That it would be 500,000 to 700,000. It was going to be short of $1 million. One of the things that I thought screwed them was the price.
The price of the pay-per-view?
Yep. I thought it being $84.99 was tough. If they were to go to $59.99, probably would have got more people. For a fight like this at a catchweight to be $85, I thought it was difficult, honestly. Here's a comment that'll make you laugh. You ready?
Oh, shit. Here we go.
You ready?
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Is the seatbelt on?
Yeah.
Okay. Mario Drake says this fight needs to happen.
Oh, shit.
Are you fastened?
Too much anticipation, bro.
Are you fastened?
Go ahead, bro.
Needs to happen now.
Tyson Fury versus Tank Davis.
Gervonta Tank Davis versus Jermell Charlo.
Yo, that man is trolling. He's trolling. He's trolling.
He had to have just seen the Charlo brothers sitting there ringside like, that's a good one.
No, this person is trolling because if you know Jermel's name, then you know enough about boxing to know that that fight would never happen. So,
God, I hope so.
That's a troll. I wanted to sneeze. Sorry.
That was a sneeze?
I want to sneeze, bro.
It sounded like you diarrhea out of your mouth.
Oh, man.
All right. More. Robert says boxing is faceless. Until there's a dominant heavy or light heavy, boxing is dying. I can only disagree with this, man. Hugh says all facts to that. I can only disagree. But I did say people love a good heavyweight. They do. They love a good heavyweight. That's why when Deontay was knocking people out left and right, you could not go a day while they were in the build-up to the fight or in camp without seeing, like, greatest hits of Deontay and him crushing guys. The Ortiz, not like the laundry list. So, Weedy says no one watches light heavyweights. No, people watch light heavyweights. People just watch more heavyweights.
You know who people don't watch?
Tell me.
Cruiserweights. That's who they don't watch.
100%.
And I love the cruiserweight division. I've never understood why people do not invest in the cruiserweight division.
Even when Usyk was a cruiserweight, nobody was really watching.
Such an exciting division to watch. Man, such skill and talent at the cruiserweight.
All right, Weedy has a Weedy has a clap back for us. Hang on.
Oh shit!
You need to stop swearing. Weedy says, or Beevall Better Beeve would be made already. Look, we'd love to see that, but as we've discussed, Bivol is going for I have the biggest balls in boxing, and I'm going to go take out Canelo at his own better weight class. And I think he will do it, by the way. Canelo's going to get past John Ryder, and then that fight is going to be made because Bivol really wants to make a statement that he's not a one-hit wonder against Canelo. He wants to prove he's better than Canelo.
Do you think it happens at 68?
I do. He seems so focused on it.
Wow. Yeah, I did hear him at one point said, if the fight's not at 68, I'm not accepting it.
Yeah. He seems way too in tune with making that fight happen. It seems impossible that it wouldn't at this point. Because I actually do agree with Weedy that that would be a tremendous fight. Russia against Russia. Better Beef against Bivol. But he doesn't seem interested. He's like, yeah, maybe. And potentially that could be because Better Beef is like 37 or 38 at this point, so maybe he wants him to take another fight. Because this is the playbook. Let's be real about that. But I do think he just wants to throw his balls on the table and say, yeah, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong that thinks Canelo just got ahead of the skis at 175. I'm gonna take him out at his own better weight. I think it happens.
If I'm honest, I don't even think that Bivol is thinking that far ahead on the Bivol Better Beef side of things. I think that the money play is just Canelo, and totally. He's just like, hey, listen, if I beat you and it was because we were at my weight, then let's go to your weight. So now he'll very easily become a unified champion in 2 weight classes by beating someone that he just beat. So when
you also make not just the money, but the potential for danger, it's lessened going up against Canelo.
Yeah, definitely.
Better Beef it's like if Roberto Duran in his prime were a light heavyweight. He hurts guys. He has hands of stone. I mean, the Anthony Yard fight was good. I was surprised how well Yard fought, honestly. But the Yard fight was good, and he still crushed him.
Yeah.
Crushed him.
Yeah.
The Lakers are up 11. I believe they were up 30 in the first quarter. So some fans have already left. This is getting interesting. I'll keep you guys updated. All right, more. Weedy says he'd love to see Canelo Bivol at 168. I agree. Cahill says, Rick, I love boxing, but the casual fan will only tune in until there's a buzz. Yeah, that's something that we talk about a lot. How do you... This was sort of the thing with like the influencer boxing. Like does the ends justify the means? Are they bringing in more viewership? Because we believe, it's very clear if you could tell from our passion and our knowledge, we believe in the sport. We love the sport. But with influencer boxing and the Jake Paul movement, stuff like that, did it bring in more fans? I don't know. And honestly, if I had to place a bet on it, I'd say no. I think they were attracted to the superstar, but they weren't necessarily attracted to the sport. My 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, why come? Why come? Just to heckle me? Just to make my night longer than it already is.
I'm trying to see if there were any non Jermel Charlo, Gervonta Davis fight needs to happen comments here. You got a really good comment here from Cordell. I want to read this to you. Britton Harden is a boxing genius and low-key needs to get in the ring and start his career.
Dale Cordell.
You can tell him. Tell him for yourself.
Cordell, I will make my debut against you whenever you're ready.
You don't even know who he is.
I have a pretty strong indication who Cordell is.
Okay. All right. Where does Ryan go from here?
I think Ryan is fine. Listen, here's the thing.
Yeah.
And I was saying this I was saying this all fight week. Not to you. This will be the first time that you hear this, but I've said it to several people leading up.
Mm-hmm.
If Ryan Garcia wins this fight, he's the next, and I'm not talking about in skill set. Understand what I'm saying here.
Please.
He's the next Oscar De La Hoya. If Ryan loses this fight, he's the next Canelo Alvarez. Both fantastic paths for him. And what I mean by that is he's either the new golden boy of the sport. People would have loved for Ryan to be the face of boxing because he's clean. He comes out to Hillsong. He has a good message. He hasn't gotten caught in doing anything salacious. That's the guy. He's apple pie. That's the guy that we want to root for. Golden boy.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo, meaning taking a loss early against someone that he was supposed to lose.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Britain? Let's give him a minute here. Usually we'll start hearing the... There it is.
Rick.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Canelo, in the sense that a career that you can rebuild.
Yep.
If Tank Davis were to win, I think that Tank Davis becomes the new Floyd Mayweather / Mike Tyson. And I say /, I'll explain it. Floyd Mayweather, in the sense, not in skill set, and he's the money man in his division now. So despite not having legitimate world titles, he may have more leverage and bargaining power if him and Devin Haney were ever to compete at 135. Like, even if they fought at 135, which I don't think that they will. If they do fight, I think it'll take place at 140.
Uh-huh.
But at any weight class that they fight, especially if it's not 135, I think he'll have more leverage and more bargaining power than Devin, because he's taking a very smart path to being the forefront of boxing. Mike Tyson did the same thing. Crushed people, knocked people out, was the face of boxing, despite not facing the fighters on the world level just yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that if Tank were to be a pound for pound fighter, in my eyes, he would have to have beaten guys like Loma, guys like Devin, guys like Shakur. Right. But now there's going to be a very viable argument for him to be pound for pound, even just because he beat someone that he was supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way his career has been managed and the risk that he's taken, going from 130 to 140 back to 135, all in 1 year. Very smart, strategic fights for him to take, but still risky in their own right. So if he were to lose, I think that he would have been the next Adrian Broner.
Oh.
Legal problems out of the ring, and against his toughest task, got knocked out, got beaten, and people would have written him off. So I think that Ryan still has, there's a lot of money still on the Ryan train, because
100%.
People will say he took the fight prematurely. He was the one who pressed for the fight. There's a lot of honor in that. He got knocked down. He got back up. He got put down again. And he just couldn't continue. And he doesn't lose anything. There are some people, I'm reading some comments right now from people who are commenting to me saying, I know this is a family show. Ryan looks like a bitch. Ryan didn't want the smoke. Ryan could have gotten up. And to these people, I say, you have clearly never taken a punch before.
Go take that body shot from Tank and holler at us.
Man, go take a. I mean, it doesn't.
Go take that left hand from Tank in the second round and get up.
Yeah, but to you asked me a question. And I gave you. I'm always so long-winded. I appreciate your patience with me. Ryan has probably about 2 or 3 more fights in his career. He'll go up to a legitimate 140 pounds, and whoever wins between Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor, guess who they're going to call out at 140 pounds?
Yep. That's the money.
They're not going to call out Regis Prograis.
Oh, nobody wants to fight Regis Prograis.
Yeah, they're going to call out Ryan Garcia because they're going to make more money for less risk fighting Ryan Garcia.
Yep.
Ryan can go to the press conference tonight and say, I was never a 135-pound fighter. I'll be much better at 140 pounds. I took that fight. I'm only 24 years old. I got years left in this sport. Wait and see what I do at 140. Devin will move up and fight him. Teofimo will fight him at 140.
And they fought in the amateurs before. So that could be great. So
Ryan's good.
I saw a question here that said Mario admitted to trolling. First off. He says, all seriousness, who's the best fighter to fight Tank? It's a really good question.
I got the answer.
Shoot.
Shakur.
Oh, man. Gimme. I
just think that Shakur controls difference. She controls difference. He controls distance. He controls distance.
You agree Shakur wins, right?
Yeah. I think the same way I could break down Devin's fight against Loma is kind of the way I would see him fight in Tank, except for a different result. Because I just think I don't like Devin at 135. Like I love Devin. I think that Devin is one of the most skilled fighters in the world today.
Yep.
I just don't like him fighting at 135 pounds.
Yep.
I think that if he continues to fight at 135 pounds after this fight with Loma, it could just be to his detriment, you know? And I know that he said after Shakur's fight, he doesn't intend to leave the weight class, but I hope that he's just saying that out of bravado because, you know, his body is ready to grow. And him and Ryan have been always, you know, kind of like that they're equal, right? I mean, let Devin tell it. He's watched them in all their fights. And I tend to believe it just because of how skillful he is. But I'm just saying Ryan has gone up to 140. I think it's time. I think, you know, Devin did what he needed to do by accomplishing an unbelievable task, becoming the youngest, not just unified, but undisputed champion. I want to say in boxing history, like already a legend.
Yep.
After this fight with Loma, I understand the desire to fight Loma too, because he's been calling Loma out at 135 pounds for years. So do what you got to do, pick up your bag and fight that man, but don't continue to debilitate your body and fight at 135 pounds. I really would love to see Ryan because I don't think Josh Taylor or Teofimo beat him at 140 pounds.
Who, Devin?
Devin, yeah.
I agree.
I think Devin goes up to 140 pounds and does the same thing he did at 135.
I think he's scarier at 140.
I think exactly.
I think he's way scarier at 140.
I think his power.
I think his jab is going to be more debilitating, and it's going to rock some people's world because right now it's just there. And I agree with you that his body is ready. The power is going to only go up. Like when we saw Manny go up to, I believe it was 147. He fought on HBO After Dark, and everybody was like, well, he was really good at 35. Is he going to transfer to 140? He fought David Diaz and knocked him out cold. I'm not saying that Devin Haney is going to do that. What I am going to say is he's going to be stopping guys, not knocking them out one-hitter quitter style, but the power is just going to be magnified because he's outgrown 135.
He might.
He's going to be scarier.
I don't know. I forget the opponent that he knocked out with that dazzling one punch overhand right that he did when he was still fighting on the zone. He was coming up through the ranks and he was with Matchroom. But I see him doing that. We could look it up on his box rec easy, right? But I'm just saying I see him doing that to guys at 140.
Abdulayev?
Possibly. No. The guy right before him.
Antonio Moran.
Yeah. I see Devin doing that to guys at 140 pounds, and I've gotten all off track once again because I'm just a geek about boxing.
Did we though?
But because you asked me about the fight between Shakur and Ryan and
Tank.
Yeah, and I think that is I think that's such an amazing fight.
I think the
And
biggest problem is Tank waits for that one time to go in and hurt his opponent. Shakur has gotten hit a few times here and there, but it's been watered down shots, excuse me, where he doesn't necessarily allow himself to, but he sets himself and puts himself in a position that if he were to get hit, it would not stun him.
mm-hmm.
He has so few flaws in his game. He's so measured that whatever we saw from Ryan, and Ryan is skillful, but Ryan doesn't have the defensive tools to go up against a lot of these guys. And that's why we say if it's Josh Taylor, if it's Regis, Devin, we say he's going to lose. I say he's going to lose because defensively he's not there.
Yeah.
Shakur against a guy like Tank, who also we have seen now in fight after fight after fight, can get hit, does get hit. Shakur is going to be way more measured. That as much as it is physical, it would take a mental toll on Tank. Look, we saw with Tank when he got hit, as I said previously, he really wanted to come back and score back for the judges. He wanted to get even, and he left himself open.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that against Shakur, he's going to punish you, but he's going to punish you over 12. He's going to mentally drain you. He's like a ghost. The most skillful boxer in this current state is Shakur. And you're pretty much saying Tank is skillful, but he doesn't have every tool in the toolbox. He would get not necessarily hurt. He would get potentially close to shut out. I think he would lose like 9-3 if he were to go up against Shakur.
Yeah, that's a hell of a breakdown, and that's a hell of a call, and that is definitely a foreseeable outcome for a fight like that against fighters with their individual skill sets.
Can Tank land on Shakur? Can he I know he can. Would Shakur allow himself to be in that range to get hurt?
I think that Tank just controls distance way too well. I think he control. Shakur.
I was gonna say.
I think Shakur controls distance far. He just controls distance so good.
Yeah.
The thing, but Tank is. I think Tank is getting better, and I think that he's not complacent with his skill set, and I don't think that he's complacent with the punching power. I think that Tank has more to show than we've seen. So it's like while I always side with a master boxer over a power puncher, Tank has shown us since the Mario Barrios fight that he has manifold skill set to his tools. And that is, I think that, that's a true summit meeting. And I think that is a fight that can happen at 135 pounds. That's a fight that I would like to see happen at 135 pounds. Yep. I think that if either one of those guys want to see Devin, I think that they would have to see Devin after Devin is cleaned up to the 140-pound division, and he's a two-time unified, undisputed champion at 140 pounds.
If I may, real quick.
Go ahead.
Holiday writes in, I totally disagree. Yes, Tank can beat Shakur. Mm-hmm. I want to hear your breakdown on that. Because I'm curious. I'm curious where you're coming from.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's 100% wrong, right? Like I don't think that fight is a 50-50. I think that fight is more of like a 60-40 in Shakur's favor, just because he controls distance so well. And the thing is,
I think it's more 70-30, brother.
And listen, like now we're just like kind of,
splitting hairs.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs, right?
Yeah.
Like 60-40, 70-30, right?
Yeah.
My only point I'm trying to say is Tank has an equalizer,
mm-hmm.
and it only takes one, as you see. Mm-hmm. And he's not just shown us in this fight, but he's shown us in against Ryan. He's shown us against Barrios. I can knock you out to the body as well as I can knock you out to the head.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he's a one trick pony and all he wants to do is hit you with one big left hook. He could do it with the left. He could do it with the right.
Mm-hmm.
Shakur, I think to a lot of people hasn't shown what he just showed in the last fight, that he's now sitting down on his punches, boxing more with his waist. He's not necessarily using his legs so much to prove that he's defensive, but he's standing there in the pocket. He's letting guys open up a little bit more, and he's punching in between their shots. Mm-hmm. So I see that as like a true 60-40 summit meeting between two guys who have a lot of skill set. I don't disagree. I do not disagree that either one of those guys could take that fight on any given night.
I agree. What I'm curious to see is the progression, a la what we talked about with Devin. When some of these guys want to move up, they may potentially move up together, which I find to be incredibly fascinating. Mm-hmm. Like Shakur is going to move up, Devin's going to move up, mm-hmm. and there are going to be some mainstays at 140. And there's so many good fights to make. You know, as you said, Ryan is still at 140. The like anybody who fights Prograis is already, it's a must-watch fight.
Yep.
Josh Taylor is damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Catterall, real good. I mean, these divisions are stacked. And we went through this period mainly because of Floyd, where 147 was key. And then after Floyd, 147 remained key. And then we had the variety of heavyweights because AJ was still untouched. Usyk was moving up. Tyson was there. It was real good. Deontay was knocking people out left and right. And then suddenly with the emergence of Teofimo, the parity in those within the divisions, 135 and 140, with the spin the wheel on who fights who between Loma, Teo, Kambosos. Devin beats Kambosos and then beats him again. Teofimo suddenly goes downhill, looks odd at times, but still a notable name. And then Shakur starts coming up. Tank has this emergence over the years ever since he was on the undercard of Mayweather-McGregor. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really interesting to see the progression that the not lower weight divisions have had, especially when grabbing the attention of the viewing audience, because the numbers that Tank is doing is really impressive. Mm-hmm. Like from the past, within those divisions, granted, very different. This is, decades ago at this point. But the Barreras, the Moraleses, those were the names that really brought people in. From a modern day perspective, it's Tank that is bringing people in.
Yeah.
Personally, I just love the parody. I do. I love it. I love seeing how many good names there are. I don't disagree that Tank can't necessarily beat Shakur because, as you said, and as I've seen from many people in the comments, all it takes is one punch.
Yeah.
But that is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Is that it really still is somewhat of a toss-up. I really like Shakur, and until they meet, I will take Shakur. But I will never count out somebody's power, ever.
Yeah. I think boxing is in a good place. I want to shout out Weedy Gonzalez in the comments who said, if you ever took a legit liver shot in your life, you want to get up, but your body won't let you. Mm-hmm. And I like it. Come on, man. Like, I love, sometimes I get really frustrated, because I've been in there and I've sparred and I've been hit with these shots before. And I know that majority of the world hasn't. So to someone who hasn't, they see someone get hit in the body and it's like, but his nose isn't broken. His eye isn't hanging out his head. He's not unconscious. Why can't he get up? He's a quitter.
Right.
It's just that is the scam. People thinking stuff like that.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
I have to say this thing because I thought that it was so admirable.
Oh, there's a thing.
There's a thing.
Oh, okay.
There's always a thing.
Hit me.
Um, Someone asked Usyk, why didn't he knock out Anthony
AJ.
Joshua? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and he said, I beat the man. That's enough. He said, fighters falling and hitting their heads is a huge part of why there's long-term damage. This man has a mother. This man has a family. Why would I want him not to be able to live his life with his family? And he's like basically speaking to why is there such a bloodlust to see people damn near die before you agree that something is, like that it's over.
Yep.
There's a finality and there's brilliance in the way that Tank ended this fight, because there is another way he could have ended it.
Totally.
Ryan Garcia could have been unconscious.
Could have gone to the hospital.
And could have gone to the hospital. Is that what we want? Like, come on, man. Like,
Totally.
But listen, I digress because at this point, sure, it's my bleeding heart for these fighters. The ignorance and the stupidity for people to suggest that they're faking it or that Ryan quit. It's just pure ignorance. And I mean that in the dictionary sense of the word, right? Like,
yes.
You just clearly don't know. You're clearly in the dark. And so I kind of let my heart, on my shoulder with that one. But I think boxing is in a good place with fighters like Tank and Shakur and Devin and even Ryan, because Ryan has shown us he's
tough, man.
He's been endeavoring to show us for years that he has heart, and he's been trying to be accepted by the boxing community for years, not the social community, not just the young girls who come because they think he's attractive. Ryan has been trying to be accepted by the boxing community for years.
100%.
Ryan started boxing when he was 8 or 9 years old, right?
Yes.
Like, you don't fight Devin Haney 6 times if you just started boxing because of Instagram.
But that's people's false assumptions.
Of course.
Yeah. It's people's false assumptions. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen All Access, it's available on YouTube. And if you ever watched any of those like HBO 24/7 Mayweather De La Hoya, it's basically like that. I highly recommend going on YouTube and rewatching them to understand what Britain's talking about, because they go through when he was younger and how he even gave his parents credit because they didn't necessarily come from money. And he said they put their finances and well-being into his career because this is what he truly believed in and what he wanted to do. And they go and show you the pictures. You could also YouTube a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, where he would go up against Devin Haney in the amateurs. They would spar against each other. It's all there.
Yeah.
And that's real quick. That's what's odd about all this is that I agree with you, and it was beautifully put, that Ryan is fiending for people to accept him as a boxer. But I would argue a lot of that falls on the press, because what did we hear when he was making his way up on different broadcasts? TikTok. Mm-hmm. That's all we heard. We didn't hear about him winning championships when he was 10, 12. We heard TikTok. When I went to the fight, shoot, which one was it? I'm drawn.
Fortuna? You went to Fortuna?
Yeah, I went to Fortuna. When I went to that fight, now look, people can have fun. They could have beers. I get it. But the amount of TikToks that I heard, TikTok boxer, he's a TikTok boxer. People openly rooting against him because he has a large following online was so interesting to me. Like, so you're just going to discount the work he's put in his entire career? Yeah. You're just going to discount the, let's be objective here, ridiculous hand speed that he has, the power that he has, the skill that he has, because he's got like 1 million followers on TikTok. Who cares?
He's knocked out nearly every person has been in the ring with him, and he's
Who
had,
cares?
when he fought Duno, everyone thought Duno was going to beat him.
Yep.
He knocked Duno out in the first round.
Yep.
He got off the canvas to knock out Luke Campbell. He fought a faded, Fortuna, but Fortuna's a bad boy back in his day. And he made that strategic move so that he didn't get clipped or hurt, so that he couldn't make a fight with Tank Davis. So listen, I think that was to his detriment because he wasn't prepared, because he didn't take a fight against maybe a Jojo Diaz, right? A left-hander who has some pop and would have gave him that. But it was because he wanted to give the audience, he wanted to prove to the boxing community, I'm a real guy. I want to fight the toughest guy out there. That's the guy y'all say is a tough one. I don't want to risk anything in me not being able to fight that guy. So I think that boxing is in a really good place. You got Tank, you got Shakur, you got Devin, you got Ryan, you got Regis Prograis when the boxing community gets his head out of his ass and finally gives him a platform to shine.
Seriously.
You got Teofimo Lopez, you got Josh Taylor, you got David Morrell, you got David Benavidez. Mind you, you still have AJ and Canelo for however long we still have them. We got to start applauding these guys and giving it up to these guys, because what ends up happening is you get a person like Floyd Mayweather who leaves the sport indirectly because he's still competing in these social platforms, but you get him leaving, and then it's like, oh, there's a void missing, and you realize that the void is missing because no one's buying pay-per-view after Floyd. But when Floyd was here, all people said about Floyd was that all he did was run, and we don't like him, and he's this,
boring,
and he's that,
too defensive,
and he's boring, and he's too defensive. But the numbers don't lie. He produced 1 million buys with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like piracy wasn't sophisticated, maybe not so much as now because you have so many platforms, but there was always a link. You could always text somebody and get a link to the Floyd fight, right? If you really wanted to. Or, you know what I mean? Or a Pacquiao fight. So I just, there's this desire to hate on people while we have them. And I think that we got to turn the narrative around. We got to start appreciating these guys, man. Ryan, this is, I want your comments on everything that I said. Ryan showed us tremendous heart tonight. We knew he had heart when he got off the canvas and he fought Luke Campbell.
Yep.
And then he knocked him out with a body shot. He got off the canvas. He tried to make a fight of it. He got busted up, and he took the same body shot that B-Hop landed on Oscar De La Hoya.
Yep.
And again, Weedy Gonzalez, your whole body shuts down when you get hit with a good body shot. And it doesn't, like, you go back and look at the body shot from B-Hop. It wasn't a big load up, rock'em
totally
robot shot.
And you saw Oscar withering
in pain.
Yeah.
Because your body is in shock. Your body locks up. You want to get up. Your brain is telling you, I can get up. And that's when he hurt the most, when you try to get up. That was the same fate that Luke Campbell faced. So, listen, man. I think boxing is in a good place. I don't know if the boxing audience is in a good place. I think the sick condition is with the people. But the athletes, they're making these fights happen. Now, if we could get Bud Crawford.
Oh man, come on, man.
If we can get
Stop
two
it.
fights.
Stop
if we
it.
can get 2 fights this year. If we can get Bud Crawford, and we can get Fury Joshua, my year be made.
No, what we need is Fury Usyk. That's
That's
what we need if you're really shooting for the stars here, because you already did with the first one.
That's what the purist in you is saying. The purist in you likes finality. The purist in you wants to have finality around who's the real man at heavyweight. That's what you want.
I think everybody who's paying attention wants it.
Yeah, but
we all want it. We don't want to see Tyson fight Andy Ruiz.
No, listen, Rick, but that's the thing. they're not paying attention because they just said that Ryan threw a fight and he didn't the punch that they clearly saw him get hit with, he didn't get hit with it. So the boxing purist in you, trust me, I want to see him fight Usyk as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to be a bigger fight? The bigger fight is going to be him and AJ. So that's all I'm saying.
Yes. The bigger fight that will draw the larger pay-per-view buys and bigger purse is AJ. There's an easier selling point because they are both from England. You could put it at Wembley. The whole country, you could say the entire EU would shut down because of it. Usyk is not necessarily a household name. And if anybody were watching the build-up for the first time and they see AJ without a shirt on, they would think he's like Creed 3 on steroids. So I get it. I totally get it. I want to see the best fight the best. That has also been the downfall of this sport, if we're being very honest, is that there are mandatories, but you could dodge them easily. You can vacate, you can move up, you can move down. It's easy. On going back to some of the stuff that you were saying, I give Ryan. Oh, here's a question for you, and then I'll get to your point. Here's Johnny says, aren't they setting up the AJ versus Wilder next? That's something that we talked about a while ago, but it seems like it's just falling by the wayside. It hasn't necessarily been talked about a lot at all. We'd love to see it, but it really feels like they're trying to set up something else between those guys. And like Ruiz's name, I respect Andy Ruiz. Ruiz's name being floated into the picture, I gotta think that's a leak from one camp to try and generate some interest. I don't know. The AJ Wilder fight, I'd like to see it, but I'm very pessimistic.
Yeah. From what I hear, they're also trying to set up, they were trying to set up some heavyweight summit meeting where Deontay Wilder and AJ will be on the undercard of Usyk and Fury with some 500 or to $1 billion worth of money in the Middle East. So who knows what's going on in the heavyweight division, man?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I wish that we had some finality around all of that stuff too.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I think how can Big Baby make his statement in the heavyweight division? Mario Drake asks. I think he just has to keep doing what he's doing.
I was just gonna say, keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
Stay as busy as he can.
He just fought like a 45-year-old though. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. He needs to stay. He needs to stay clean, and he needs to keep fighting. He has to be busy.
His next opponent needs to be against a top 15 ranked heavyweight.
Yep.
And then he needs to just start putting himself in a position to become a mandatory for one of these guys. But then you see, that
How
situation.
old is he at this point? 34.
Who?
Miller.
Oh, I thought they were talking about Jared Anderson, Big Baby.
Oh, I thought they were talking about Jarrell Miller.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's talking about Jarrell Miller at this point. And that's no knock on Jarrell Miller. I think
I misheard that one.
Well, you got Big Baby, which is Jarrell Miller.
Point stands with what I said.
Then you got the real Big Baby, Jared Anderson. I thought they were talking about Jared Anderson. Yeah, he said no, Big Baby Anderson. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
That is funny.
It is getting late. All right. Go ahead.
It's later for me, and I'm still sharp, bro.
Yeah, you are.
No, but listen, Big Baby Anderson, I think he needs to call out a top 15 ranked heavyweight opponent, and I think that he needs to prove that he can get it done. And then from there, you know what would actually be cool? is if him and Jarrell Miller actually fought for who the
Mm.
real Big Baby was,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And then from there, start calling out Big Bang Zhang, start calling out Hergovich, start calling
We
out.
didn't even talk about that fight.
No, we didn't. Start
Did you
calling
see
out.
it?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
I thought that Big Bang Zhang
Man, he looked good.
he looked
He
good.
looked sharp. You know what he looked? He looked like he could read Joe Joyce like a book. He really put in a lot of work with film because
You know
he
what he
looked
looked.
way too freaking comfortable in there, man.
Yeah, you know what he looked like.
Mm.
He looked like he knew. Uh, he looked like he could read, and what I mean by that is
The timing.
no, no, not timing. Like literally read. He looked like he read a tweet that uh, that Joe Joyce tweeted the week of the fight, which I thought was absurd.
Yep.
Everyone has a plan until they punch me in the mouth, and I'm still coming. And I thought to myself, I
Boom,
said,
boom, 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 boom.
yeah, I said, that's your biggest shot. That's what you're going with until you punch me, and I'm still coming. I get what he was trying to say,
Of
but my
course,
my point in that is Big Bang Zhang looked like he knew that Joe Joyce relies on his chin way too much, and that he was going to run into shots.
which is true.
And he said, "Okay, I'm gonna I crack harder than probably anyone that he has ever fought before, and
Yep.
he rates his chin way too high. And if that's your plan, is that I have a chin that I can rest on, I'm gonna knock you spark out."
Totally.
And that's what happened.
Totally. What I saw was, first off, prior to this, Joe Joyce did get hit with guys' best shots. So it's not like what he was saying was smoke. Like it is accurate. He just didn't get hit with that man's best shot previously. Zhang, the way that he fought was mad comfortable. Close range. He was the first to hurt one guy in that fight, and his shots took a massive toll on Joe Joyce. By the middle rounds, when Joyce was firing, they looked like a pitcher who's been in the major leagues for 20 years, used to throw 98 and now throws 78. The body shots that he would throw, they were slow. They had
Yeah.
nothing on them. And it's only because of one man, because of Big Bang. It was because of him.
Big Bang Zhang looked like he looked like Bring On Tyson Fury. Right? He looked like AJ, I'll steamroll you. He looked like
Man, I'd like to see that now.
he looked like Deontay Wilder, I might outbox you.
Yep.
He looked great.
He looked he looked way too comfortable, man.
He looked way too good.
Way
And listen,
too comfortable.
I might be getting a little beyond myself because he fought somebody who was clearly had the intentions on walking into every shot that he threw, but he looked that good to me.
Yeah.
He really looked like he had a well-read game plan, which says to me that he has a really smart team backing him up.
I agree. All right, let's put a bow on this. Who do you believe? Let's say everything that happens with Gervonta happens, and he's ready to announce his next opponent.
Yeah.
Who is it? Be real. Like, I don't think Shakur happens immediately. Be real.
No.
Who is it?
I think it's somebody within the PBC universe. I think I think it's somebody in that realm. Somebody not necessarily. I don't want to say easy pickings, right? Like, but somebody.
Well, we've seen the blueprint with this sport. After something like this, that's always usually the pivot.
Yeah, because you can't take on. And listen, here's the thing. It's like on paper, this was a tough fight. Didn't look like it was much of a tough fight for Tank, right? But Tank,
I disagree with that. It was tougher than we thought it would be. He got hit with some quality shots.
No, he for sure. I think that his fight against Mario Barrios is probably tougher.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying if I'm reading this right, I think that Tank is gonna end up fighting somebody within the PBC universe, might call up a Chris Colbert or something like that.
Oh man, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't either,
I
but
don't want to see that.
I think it'll be something of that nature. I don't see him
Understood.
fighting. I don't see him fighting Shakur next either, but I do think that they'll end up meeting.
Yep.
Ryan Garcia will take some time off. He'll come back at 140 pounds, and he'll come back at 140 pounds, and he'll face some lower level opponent at 140.
As
You
he
know,
should.
yeah.
Yep. I agree.
And then probably try and angle towards making a fight with Devin, or the winner of Tiafimo and Josh Taylor next.
Which would be great.
And I think that'll be his swan song, if I'm honest.
TBD. We'll keep it posted. Most of all, we appreciate all y'all tuning in. Robert, thank you for sticking around. Mario, thank you for sticking around. Run Rafa, Weedy Gonzalez, Northside Yanks, all of you guys. It's been awesome. We're going to do this a lot more. There's a lot of fights that are coming on each and every Saturday. You know, Loma Devon is going to be on May 20th. That's going to be fantastic. The Canelo fight is on May 6th. That's going to be fantastic as well. We're going to have more for you guys here. Most of all, we really appreciate everybody sticking around.
Definitely.
Commenting, giving a thumbs up,
Weedy
subscribing.
Gonzalez, Mario Drake, Robert, Gil, man, Northside Yanks.
All of you guys, man.
All you guys, for real. Especially the guys who left comments, man. We really appreciate you guys. We love doing this. We love talking about the sport. Clearly, I'm up at 1:20 in the morning, my side of town. And I really appreciate you guys, man. We love getting into the mix and talking about this stuff with you guys. We will be doing this more often, like Rick said. We appreciate it.
100%. Stay tuned, y'all. Britt,
Peace.
love you.
Love you too, my boy.
See ya.
Talk soon.